19 years ago, my parents told my younger siblings and I that we were to leave Mexico behind to move to Iowa. I had no clue where Iowa was. In Spanish, Iowa sounded like agua, which is two words that mean there is water. So in my childish thinking, I thought that we were going to a place where there was water. So little did I know, though, that the year we came, we actually were greeted by a lot of water. We experienced the 1993 floods, and so we got to live through that. Even thinking back to that experience and not really knowing English, not really fully understanding what was going on, it was very difficult living that natural disaster with Iowans as well. But what was also very hard for me was experiencing the change in the social and cultural norms that I was going through. It was an awakening that I knew that I was in a different place and I would be experiencing something different. I remember the sinking feeling of being dropped off at school, in elementary school, because I didn't speak English. I cried, and when instructions were given that I didn't understand, my peers understood it and I didn't. And so I felt alone. I felt like I didn't belong. My parents were working hard immigrants, trying to give us a better future. And so my English skills began to improve thanks to the patience of my second grade teacher and my exposure to ESL classes and my own efforts to really want to rise above these circumstances. My motivations to continue to move forward were my parents' sacrifices and wanting to be an example for my siblings. What I remember most, though, is that while I was living physically in the US and Iowa, I was emotionally and mentally living in two worlds. I was living in monocultural environments. It felt like a black and white experience. There was nothing in the middle. My parents successfully applied to a program that allowed me to attend Dowling Catholic High School. It was there that I started meeting more people, and I started to be a little bit less judgmental about my American culture. You see, it's so easy to judge, but it takes just a little bit of courage to take a step back, meet people, and understand that we all share the same problems. My mentors encouraged me to get involved in student clubs, and getting involved allowed me to realize that money isn't what makes people happy. I felt that my high school peers lacked love, attention, and guidance, just like I did many times throughout my life. So after high school, I knew that I wanted to attend college, but I had no clue how to do that. Joan Durrell is who then became my life mentor, and to this day, she's a part of my family. She was part of the committee that approved my enrollment at Dowling. She believed in me, and she's the reason why I have an American family. She took me to college visits and helped me explore my options. But you see, my access to college was another border that I had to cross. Even though I had lived in the US for 10 years, I was still considered an undocumented alien. I had a legal work permit, but that wasn't enough to go ahead and give me access to financial aid for college. I was told that I had the right to seek an education, but that I would have to pay the international student rate. I was devastated, but I was livid. I was furious. My dreams were momentarily shattered that summer of 2003 because, again, I had lived here for 10 years. So to me, this represented another wall that was already built that I had to tear down. I did end up going to college, thank God. You see, many times you can't cross lines without the help of angels that help you fly. Two dear friends, Max Cardenas and Warren Morrow, introduced me to a local businessman. This man and his family decided that they were going to go ahead and pay for me to attend my freshman year of college at Central College in Pella. That same summer, as part of a national push to pass the DREAM Act in Washington, D.C., I became heavily involved in local politics. I was not alone. My story was the same story of many students who remained to live in the shadows. One of the local coalitions that I was working with selected me to represent Iowa in Washington, D.C. It was there that I had the opportunity to talk to Senator Grassley. He heard my story, and I asked for his support in passing the National DREAM Act. Again, my story is only one of many that continue to live in the shadows. The barriers that are placed in front of us stop us many times. But even when immigrant children overcome social, economic, and cultural challenges, our dreams are continuously slowed down. Today, I work at La Clínica de la Esperanza, where many immigrants come and receive healthcare services in English and Spanish. I hold a master's degree from the University of Iowa in public health, and I am now a U.S. citizen. I am also married to a wonderful man that I met in Honduras while I was doing an externship there. I can say that my desire to grow has given me a career in this country next to a man that ties me back to my Latino identity. I have grown in both. You see, I'm a product of both cultures. As a result, I'm always reminded of a movie called Ni de aquí ni de allá, which means not from here and not from there, that I watched with my family as we grew up. And it's about the character of La India Maria. For those of you who don't know who she is, La India Maria played the role of a charismatic indigenous woman from Mexico who was portrayed as ignorant because she looked and acted different than the dominant group. Many times I still feel like the title of that movie. I will never fully be from here, meaning America, and I will never fully be from there, meaning Mexico. I think we, as Americans, would be much happier if we invested in immigrant families. But most importantly, society will benefit by investing in early multicultural education for all children. It is more what we have in common than what divides us. So today I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes by Cesar Chavez. Once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. You cannot uneducate the person who has learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. We have seen the future, and the future is ours. Thank you.